What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today, I need to talk about me. Me time, as well as a couple movies, specifically Godzilla Minus One and The Boy and The Heron. But before I get to that, if you're interested in my thoughts on those movies, check the timestamps and skip ahead for that. But as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Danny's to Talk, it's all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, and games. So, I'm recording this almost midnight on Friday of the 15th, December 15th, 2023. A few minutes away from midnight. Um, just because I need to talk, need to clear my mind, and also, like I said, I've been wanting to talk about Godzilla Minus One and The Boy and The Heron since I watched them last weekend, but this past week has just been insane, to tell y'all the truth, man. Just because it's like I do my best, try to continue marching forward, keep pushing forward. Um, but sometimes I think I don't really realize the true weight of the role and responsibility that I carry on the average day. So, just to get a little bit of context of what I'm talking about, so my wife was pretty sick this past week. She ended up finding out she had a bronchitis or whatever, but like leading up to it or whatever, and had some potentially scary stuff, whatever. Had to go to the hospital, all that stuff, whatever. And so she pretty much was out of commission most of this last week. But as always, when you got a family, a household, kids, business got to keep moving. And so everything had to still get done. I got it done. So, got everybody to the practices and stuff and whatever last weekend, Sunday, and then just going through the gauntlet all week of you know getting everybody up and off to school on the bus and off to school, then making sure my wife was situated, then me heading to work, doing what I'm doing, then leaving work a little bit early most days of this week because I gotta go gotta go pick up Vash from school, get home, make sure they're good, and then waiting for my oldest boy and the girls to call me at their various times like, hey, I'm done with practice and whatever. And depending on the day, it was like Tuesday was the last cross country meet, so did that. Wednesday, one of my daughters had a choir concert, and then Thursday, of course, is the busiest day because that's basketball day. So luckily, my wife was back mobile and stuff by then, but it was like going to like I mentioned previously, I go to all the away games. My wife goes to all the home games because our oldest son and the girls, they all play on the same day at the same time. It's just every week one of them is home, the other one is away. So that was kind of just the gauntlet of things I went through this week. And so obviously, like, my sleep pattern was crap all week just because I was going, and by the time we get home from games or practices or concerts or track meets or whatever, then maybe having to go and get groceries or get some other stuff my wife might need, or had to go out really late one night, actually Tuesday night or whatever, because my daughter needed stuff for her concert for the next day, and all the normal just day-to-day stuff, and make sure, okay, dinner, oh crap, we forgot to cook something, so let me run pick up something or run to the store to grab something to heat up, and yada yada yada. And then by the time everybody's eating and settled and in bed and the house is quieting down, it's like 10 o'clock or whatever, 10:30. Then, I shower and then pretty much just hop in the bed and rinse and repeat. I'm up at, 5, 6 in the morning the next day. And just, there was never really a point this week where I feel like, yes, I'm going to bed early so I can catch up on rest, whatever. It's just like, no. So, yeah. So your boy is tired. And like I say, just kind of just like really made me reflect on how much that I do. Like I said, like I do a lot, we do a lot on a normal day-to-day business when both me and my wife are good and healthy and functioning at the top of our game. We do a lot. But when, she's out of commission or whatever, and then I'm having to, do keep everything going kind of times two, so to speak. Cause like I said, I'm keeping the whole household, all the kids, everybody's still going to practices, the games and events and stuff, whatever. And then make sure she's taken care of and, got her medicines and resting and, things like that or whatever. So while still, of course, going to work, make sure my work needs and stuff are fulfilled and stuff. So yeah, so it was just a gauntlet this weekend. Like I said, just kind of maybe just really reflecting, like I said, I really wanted to come and talk, whatever, just because it was like, man, like every day I was like, man, I really want to talk about these movies or whatever, but I need to try to get what little rest I can because I got to go through this again tomorrow or whatever. And so kind of felt like, man, dang, that might be a good episode title someday. My life is a roguelite. Dang, I need to make note of that. Hold on, y'all. Oh man, my life is a roguelite. Cause yeah, y'all. But anyway, so yeah, life was crazy, busy, whatever. But all in all, my wife is back, feeling better and stuff. And so my daughters, their team, they finished first overall, I think, at the district cross country meet. So congrats to them. My kids destroyed again in basketball this week. My son, he actually got to play against and reunite with a old teammate, somebody that he played with back 8 years ago when he was playing for the YMCA. When all my kids first started, they started at the YMCA years ago, 2015 or whatever. And so there's a team photo we have on our kitchen bar that I see every day or whatever. And so when I was at the game and I saw this, they were lining up for the jump ball or whatever. And as soon as I saw the kid's face on the other team, I was like, I think that's the kid. So I dug through my media, Facebook and stuff, whatever, and I found a copy of the picture and looked at it and zoomed in. I was like, yep, that's him. So I got to talk to his dad and stuff after the game and get a picture of him and my son again and stuff. So that was a very, very dope moment. Like I said, just kind of getting to reconnect with that after 8 years or whatever. But yeah, so like I said, I kind of also like to just kind of wanted to talk because like I said, just like me just thinking about stuff, whatever, this week. And one thing too, because I been trying to think about, okay, how I want to do with the podcast and different stuff, whatever, going forward. And I've also kind of been reminded of overthinking and over planning is kind of like my kryptonite, because I start thinking about too many things, too many options or whatever, and then I just kind of get like crippled with choices. And like, I don't know if it's like an anxiety or whatever, but it's kind of like too many choices. Or for me, it's like getting too organized and structured doesn't jive with how I operate. Like I said, case in point, me just randomly decided, hey, you know what, I'm gonna record it right before midnight or whatever when I probably should be in bed, but I need to talk. But that's why, for those of y'all that watch a lot of my the video versions of my stuff, whatever, is like, Rob, man, we've been seeing these same variations of piles of manga behind you for many months, and I know. But once again, just paralyzed with the choices and like, well, I'm keeping it this way because I'm planning on doing a read through of this or reviewing that or whatever, and then I just end up not doing none of it, and then nothing gets situated, whatever, and here we are. But yeah, I was just kind of just like to just thinking on stuff, whatever, and just kind of just like trying to remind myself like, hey, don't overplan, just go with the flow, just go with where your heart takes you, because you know, as you know, everybody does the like year end wrap up stuff, whatever, and I'm gonna touch on this more specifically in the final thing I do, my year reflection thing in a couple of weeks episode. But I was looking through my YouTube wrapped thing or whatever, for my YouTube channel, and just kind of, you know, being like, oh hey, you know, you've gained, I think it's like 80 new subscribers and did this many videos and yada yada yada, and it's like, okay, you know, for me, I'm like, man, you know, I you know, would have liked to get more subscribers and done more and doing more collabs, and I've been very distraught, as I've heard me talk about a lot, with me not being able to do my collaborations and have guests on and stuff, whatever, just because of the technical problems I had earlier in the year or whatever, just kind of just derailed all these plans and stuff I had. I had so many awesome people and conversations lined up to where that all just got derailed, and now here I am. But like I say, when I kind of like really just like really sat back and just thought about it, I've done really well this year on the podcast and content front, all things considered, because like I say again, and I don't say stuff just to like brag and like, yay, look at what Robert's all doing, whatever, but it's like on paper, on a baseline, I'm married, I have 5 kids, and I work in IT in the medical field. So IT, medical field, spouse, 5 kids, just baseline. That is a lot. Then you add on top of that, my 3 oldest are in middle school, and they do sports all year round. Been doing sports for 8 years now. So they've been doing sports all year round for 8 years, and now that they're in middle school, you know, they're in 8th grade, so the second year in middle school, but it's like now they're doing all year round stuff outside of school, and during the school year doing that stuff still, plus the school sports, whatever, and activities and clubs and stuff, whatever. And the extra layer on top of that is that sometimes my kids also, we, you know, not just, oh, we're traveling across the city and the metroplex, but like, no, we're doing stuff across the country, traveling for basketball and sports and stuff, whatever. So, you know, like I said, that's like the older 3, and then I still have, you know, my middle son, you know, who's 11, and then baby boy Vash, who's just now kind of getting started. He's in kindergarten or whatever. So it's like, I have a lot going on. So the fact that I'm doing and have been doing what I do with the podcast and YouTube and all this stuff, whatever, it's pretty crazy, you know, because it's like, in some ways, I think that me working at the level that I do, all the stuff that I do, whatever, it's just become sometimes good, but probably more bad, like an autopilot thing, to where, you know, sometimes I see other people being like, man, I'm tired, I'm taking a break, you know, not doing the podcast anymore, or, you know, not going to do it for several months, whatever. And me, just as an outsider looking or whatever, it's like, okay, this person maybe has a spouse or a partner or whatever, but they have no kids or whatever. So it's like, okay, and they're not doing any, they're taking years off or months off from doing a podcast episode or making a YouTube video or whatever. But but then on the flip side, you can also look at it as like, hey, they're taking better care of their mental and physical health than you are, Robert. In some sense, whatever. Because it's like, but and it's also just like a reminder of like we also all have different levels of pressure and things we can multitask and do. Because, like I said, I don't know many people who have as busy of a life structure and family structure as I do that also does this level of podcast stuff at the level, the little bit of level that I say that I do or whatever, and I have greater ambitions for conversations and stuff I want to have, but like I said, I'm trying to get myself in the mindset of like, hey, it is okay that, yes, you might have bigger goals and stuff you want to do with your podcasts and shows and stuff, whatever, but maybe right now it just isn't the time for that. And it's okay to kind of take things slower, and it's okay if you don't get to record, on that regular frequency like you were in the past or whatever, because like I said, like, man, I've been wanting to do this all week, but I chose to prioritize like, hey, let me get as much sleep as I can. And me talking about these movies, that can come whenever, but I need to be functioning somewhat to, get my family through things, whatever, get my wife back healthy and all this stuff, whatever. So yeah, but with all that being said, it also kind of made me really realize that, like, I truly don't take enough time and moments for myself, because there's always somebody that needs something. Because like even tonight, my wife is gone with my oldest because he had a tournament on the other side of the Metroplex, so they're like an hour plus away, and they're just going to be staying over there for the weekend or whatever, versus driving an hour plus back every day, after the games and to the tournament and stuff, whatever. So they're just staying over there, whatever. And it's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try to sleep and rest, but Vash is in the room, just living his best life, man. He is 6. I can't be too mad at him, but it's just like, boom, yeah, Bluey, Mario, and I'm just like, I just want to sleep. I just want to take a damn nap. And then it's okay. He's chilling. I can kind of deal with that or whatever. Then it's knock, knock, knock. Middle son's like, hey, where's this? Hey, da da da. And I'm like, yeah, but okay. Then, hey, daughter's like, hey, not feeling too well. Can I have some medicine? Okay. And daughter come later on. Hey, what's for dinner? And it's like, you kind of want to just be like, man, hey, just go figure it out. Hey, And then it's like, she went and checked. Like, okay, yeah, there was like a little bit of like leftovers left, but paper might not be enough really for everybody. So it was like, let me get up. I ran and grabbed something, whatever, for everybody and stuff. But it's just like, I tried to rest. I really did. But even with, my wife back feeling better or whatever, and she's going with my oldest handling the basketball tournament this weekend, there's still 4 other children of, from, like I said, 6, 11, and then my daughters are 14. And so it's like, it's always something, man. So, but like I said, it's just like, it just really just reminded me of like, I truly, truly do not do enough for myself. Like I said, as far as like just like little getaways and time away to myself and stuff. So kind of one of the things I'm hoping to do for my birthday as a gift is getting a hotel room by myself, even if it's just for one day. Just one day, isolation from everybody, everything, and just having a day of peace to myself. Um, that is what I'm hoping to do um, at the start of the new year, because my birthday is January 6th. So hopefully around that time, I can take a day or whatever and just escape and just be off to myself, whatever. Because I really need it. Because like I said, like this week was a super struggle for me of the highest degree. Just because cause I literally felt like my body, like I said, I work in IT, so I felt like my body was like initiating shutdown sequence, because I could just feel myself just like just slowly pulling through, just making it just like, Robert, man, we just need to make it, till, to 2 o'clock to leave to go do this, whatever. Okay, we just need to make it till this time. Hey, I just need to make it to this day. Hey, I just need to, just one day, one step, one moment at a time, whatever. And it's like we made it through the week and stuff. So, but, like I said, it just kind of, like I said, like with all that in context, and then it's like, man, I want to do more. There's more stuff I want to do with the podcast and planning and guests and stuff, whatever. But I'm just being patient and making notes, because I made a mention on Twitter the other day, because a shout out to I believe he goes by DJ, but it's a young man. He's 14, 15 years old. He goes by Team Tech Boy. I believe he's up in Missouri, but he does a lot of community stuff for schools and stuff in the area, primarily with raising money to help fund school lunches and stuff, because he remembers a situation where he had a negative lunch balance with one time, whatever, and he wasn't able to eat lunch. This was a few years back, whatever, when he was think either still in elementary or maybe just got to middle school, one of the two, whatever. And so he didn't like that feeling. He doesn't want other kids to have that same feeling. So he kind of started some philanthropy work and doing stuff like that in the community. He's also created a couple of really cool comic books that I still need to check out. Shoot, I don't have them, but he made a couple. But the thing that kind of like brought this back on my radar is that recently he was featured on Jennifer Hudson's talk show, where he got to talk about the work he's doing, on top of them awarding him a year's supply of snacks and stuff, whatever, for the schools, and $5,000 to go towards his fund of all the work that he does or whatever. So it's like I had made mention of, like, I see so many great people doing great things like what he's doing, and different people that I know personally, like old friends from back home, I want to talk to and have conversations with, and different people that I've met through doing this podcast and events and stuff, whatever. It's like, man, there's so many dope people doing dope things, so many great conversations I look forward to having, but it's just like now just isn't the time for how chaotic and stuff my life is. And it's like whenever I get ready to do that, I want to try to do it properly, or as properly as I can. So like I said, just shout out to everybody out there doing what you do. Like I said, your boy is watching. I'm watching. I'm observing, and I'm making notes. And so, like I said, I look forward to when the time comes for me to be able to have these conversations that I want to have with a variety of people that I, hopefully look forward to y'all checking out at some point in the future. And shout out to the homie. Manga Alerts, because I know he listens to the podcast from time to time. I have his Twitter page open because this weekend is a Jump Festa in Japan, so that's where like a lot of big anime and manga news is happening. So I have his page up here, whatever, just kind of keeping track of news and announcements and stuff, whatever. So, but I'll talk more about that stuff next week. But yeah, so kind of like the last little piece I want to say on the kind of just like me not doing enough for myself. and just to kind of help me transition into talking about the movies or whatever, is that like going to the movies, going to the movies by myself is something that I've kind of been doing for about 10 years now, roughly. And this all started probably like not long after I got out of college and moved up here to stay with my sister and her family for a little bit, and then especially when I transitioned and was living on my own. But I went from having a dorm slash a whole college campus full of people to where when I was in college or whatever, man, like we would roll out multiple cars deep to the theater because I went to school down in Marshall, Texas, so small town. Movie tickets $5 or whatever, sometimes three for like matinee. And so man, we would go to the movies all the freaking time. Like we'd be sitting around, if it's like, man, we ain't got no classes today, or it's the weekend, whatever. It's like, man, what's in theaters? Hey, do y'all want to go see such and such and such? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we have a couple friends or somebody or a roommate, be like, hey, do you want to come? Like, I ain't got no money. Like, dude, it's $3, man. I got you, And so just we all just loading up in the cars. Like I said, sometimes rolling multiple cars deep down the street down to the theater or whatever. But then when I came up here, I didn't really have that or whatever. Now, in the years before I met my wife, when I was out in the world, I would do a lot of dates, going to the movies or whatever and stuff, whatever, which, was pretty dope because, I wanted to go to the movie. Well, cool. Hey, we can go hang out and do the movies and stuff. But just over time, whatever, I got comfortable going to see movies and stuff by myself just because it was like, well, my homies are back in college or back, down in East Texas, whatever, a couple hours away. Don't really have many people up here, whatever. Of course, I'll take my nieces and nephews from time to time, depending on what it was or whatever. But sometimes it'd be like, man, I really want to go see this new movie out or whatever. But it might be a while before a friend would be free to go see it. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna just go see it myself. And that's something I've done over the years. And so, then, when I'm with my wife, we would go from time to time together. But then, especially like after she had Vash and stuff, whatever, we've rarely, we've gone to the movies maybe a couple of times a year. And he's 6 now, whatever. So just because it was like, well, I still want to go see stuff, whatever. And a lot of times it'd be stuff she don't really be tripping about seeing or whatever. So she's like, just go. And so, kind of reflecting on some of the stuff that I've gone to see lately, and it just like really made me think about how much peace I have going to see these movies and stuff because come on. Sorry, I was trying to look at my little app for my movies or whatever. But yeah, but sometimes it just doesn't always click in the moment. But when I think back on it or whatever, it's like, man, this truly is my time of peace because, like I said, I'm in the theater for at least 2 to 3 hours, depending on the length of the movie. Average about 3 hours. Like I said, just taking in the time getting there, going through previews, going to get snacks, then the previews, then the actual movie itself, and then the time going to and from the theater or whatever. So all in all, I average of about 3 hours worth of time that I'm gone and stuff, whatever. And so that truly has become kind of like the movie theater in a way has kind of become like a sanctuary for me in a way, to where it's like, hey, for this amount of time, it's just, now of course, hey, once again, hey, I'm still always a husband, I'm still always a dad. And so every now and then there's still some stuff like I gotta be still in the loop on or get asked about even while I'm in the movie or whatever. So sometimes I'm sitting there, my phone will vibrate, I kind of take a peek at it, be like, and respond real quick, whatever. But for the most part, it's just me and this giant screen, and I can get immersed in this movie for this amount of time. And for the most part, I can kind of shut off my brain. I'm not worried about, you know, as much like, okay, man, I gotta, we got this practice tomorrow, we got this event, or man, this bill is due, or whatever. I can kind of, for a brief moment in time, put things to the side and just my mind just be at peace. And I think that this really started hitting me uh two was that 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, um when that Dune movie came out. And because matter of fact, I did a review of it or whatever, where I had discussed this same thing. I think I titled it Peace in Dune or something like that, because I just remember I went and saw that movie in IMAX, and I think I was sitting like pretty close to the kind of like the middle of the theater, and it's just these sights and sounds just like washed over me, and I didn't think about nothing else outside of this movie where I was fully engrossed. And I've had many moments like that, because I even think about when I saw the Batman earlier. Was that even this year? I think that might have been last year. Whenever I saw the Batman, and then early in the summer when I saw Oppenheimer, that was another one. And yeah, just so many, because I'm kind of looking back at stuff. Blue Giant was another one. So I'm just like browsing through the movies that I saw by myself. John Wick, kind of, not really. Creed 3, saw that with my wife. That was, that was very engaging though. But yeah, so yeah. Knives Out, Glass Onion last year. Top Gun Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So yeah, there have been those movies, like I said, where it truly just felt like just me, just alone with my, just freeing my mind. And Parasite 2019 was also one of those like landmark moments in my mind, because I'll never forget, and I've talked about this before, but I went and saw this, what was this, March 1st, 2020. I think that was the last movie I saw before the COVID lockdown happened. And it was just a perfect storm of circumstances, because like I said, Parasite originally came out, when was this originally released? What's the original date? October 2019. So I'm saying this almost like 6 months after the fact or whatever. And because it was so far removed from the initial release or whatever, I had saw it. I believe it was a Sunday. Sunday, March 1st, 2020, 10:30 a.m. So, and I remember, I think I was the only person in the entire theater. It wasn't like a super big theater, but it was big enough to, it was like, okay, I think the only one in here, and just shutting my brain shut off, and I'm just here with the movie. And so I was kind of talking to my wife about that or whatever. I was like, man, like I really need to do this more, because for as busy as we are, and even though I might not get to go out or go visit friends, and I really don't have too much of like adult friendship relationships and stuff, whatever, which that's a whole other topic and discussion or whatever for another day, that I need to get better on. But it's like, if nothing else, I need to go see more movies more frequently, to just have some me time to just go enjoy something, free my mind from my day, worries of the day, of the week, of the year, and just enjoy something. And so I'm about to transition into talking about these two movies, but like I said, like all these thoughts are kind of just like being like really heavy on my mind. Like I said, especially this last week because of how much of a struggle it was for me to make it through the week with everything that was going on, and all the mounting pressure and just everything, man. Like I was like on the precipice of cracking, but I do my best to hold strong. But it is tough to always having to have that tough and strong facade and exterior or whatever. You know, while you keep things afloat or whatever, while you're internally I'm falling apart and mentally I'm breaking. But I try not to let those around me see that or whatever, because stuff got to get done, life got to get done, family got to get handled and supported. So yeah, but like I was saying, over this past weekend, I got to go and enjoy both of these fantastic movies, and I love them for different things. And so, and I'm gonna kind of just like to like loosely talk about them in passing, because I'm not necessarily like a super deep movie review critic type of person or whatever. But both of these movies were what I needed to see at the time that I saw them, and it's kind of a case in point of where I'm fortunate enough to live where I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where I pretty much have access to pretty much any movie that comes out because of how dense this area is. Like, I don't know of any movies that have come out that I have wanted to see that did not air somewhere that I could get to. Because and sometimes and I do my best not to take that for granted, because I see so many times so many friends and mutuals and stuff I have online that it's like, yo, this movie is out or whatever, especially when it comes to like anime movies and stuff, whatever, to where they're like, man, there's no showings in my area, or hey, the closest showing is 2 hours away or whatever. And I'm looking in my area and I'm like, man, there's a theater 10 minutes down the street. There's like 10 theaters within a 20-mile radius that are showing this animated movie. But like I said, because of where I'm at in DFW, what company is here was now Crunchyroll, but formerly Funimation. So hey, we got a lot of the anime premieres and stuff whatever come here because of Funimation / Crunchyroll being headquartered here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex out there in Flower Mound. And so it's like stuff like that has helped out a lot, towards like pretty much any anime movie I wanted to go see, whatever, I've been able to go see, because there's plenty of showings somewhere, within my area for me to go see it. Even though, yeah, they might be limited, but at least I have the option to go see them. It's like, yeah, it might suck. Oh man, it's on a Tuesday or whatever. But it's like, well, hey, at least it's within your area versus being multiple hours away and stuff. So yeah. So like I mentioned, I saw The Boy and the Heron, the new Miyazaki movie that came out, or I saw it last Friday on December 8th. Yeah, Studio Ghibli. And so I saw the English dub, and it was freaking fantastic. Let me just read you off some of the voice cast for the English dub. Mark Hamill, Christian Bale, Dave Bautista, Willem Dafoe, Florence Pugh, Robert Pattinson, just to name a handful of people. Like, it was a fantastic dub cast in this movie. So pretty much the premise of this movie is that it takes place during a wartime. I can't think if it's like World War II, I think, but basically you follow this young man, this boy, uh, who seemingly lost his mother during this like big fire that happened during this war, and so after everything, whatever, his father, he ends up leaving with his father to basically go stay at his mother's family's estate. And it seems like the father is now going to be involved, quote unquote, with the wife's sister. Kind of like it's kind of like one of those like dynasty things to where it's like, oh hey, if you were married to the princess or whatever, well, something happened to the princess, then the next royal person in the lineage or whatever would be, the next person that you marry or whatever, one of those kind of things, whatever. And so yeah, so basically that's kind of like the start of the movie is this boy and his father going to stay with, the mother's family and stuff. And that kind of just leads to a lot of like fantastical things happening because there's a lot of kind of like there's this like gray heron that's kind of like seemingly interested in the boy or whatever, kind of weird. And outside of the kind of like state or whatever, there's like this kind of like mythical kind of like house building thing, whatever, that has been kind of supposed to be sealed off because a great uncle that was like super smart or whatever, but some people thought he was kind of like eccentric and out of his mind, went into that building and never came out, and so it was kind of always seen as like a cursed place or whatever. And so, but the heron and other things kept on calling to the boy, and then eventually he goes to that building, and then just different mystical elements and stuff happen as they do in these Ghibli movies and stuff. So yeah. So all in all, man, it was such a fantastical movie in so many ways. Just like the slow transition from like the kind of like realistic dire situation of this boy and his home being engulfed in this war to having this big life change, having to go live with this other family and stuff, whatever, this other parts of the family, whatever, and then slowly weirder and weirder and weirder things start to happen until we are in a like truly whole other fantastical world that I love how, and I feel like this is like with a lot of Ghibli stuff, whatever. Which I need to go back and do like a fresh rewatch because a lot of this stuff I haven't seen since I was a kid or whatever. But it's like stuff that it's bright, colorful, beautiful movie with these kind of like truly colorful and crazy cast of characters, but there's some dark undertones and some actually dark stuff happening along the way, but it kind of is wrapped up within this like kind of semi goofy exterior, so to speak. So but yeah, like I just really enjoyed watching this movie. It was just such a fun time, like I said, just like seeing just like such a mystical thing and just wondering where all the weird stuff was going to go, and like I said, just seeing the slow escalation of things getting weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder, and it's like, yo, okay. but but yeah, and I will say like this is one of those cases where it's like, man, I wish that they were doing more and longer runs of this stuff, whatever, because this and Godzilla One were kind of like limited theatrical experiences or whatever, because this is only going to be in the theaters till I think like middle of next week or whatever, so that's like what 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then it's done. and it was in a limited viewing capacity too. And so at least with Godzilla, it was kind of a similar thing, but they're expanding Godzilla to show in more theaters. I think starting next week or whatever. So yeah. So speaking of which, so The Boy and the Heron. If you were not able to make it out to watch it in the theaters, then I highly recommend either picking up the DVD whenever it comes out or catching it whenever it's available digitally to stream or to watch or purchase whatever. Definitely check it out. So next up, Godzilla Minus One. Now, and I guess I should say I'm trying to do it spoiler free as possible with this stuff, whatever. But Godzilla Minus One. So I've always kind of loosely enjoyed Godzilla stuff in a way most of my life. I'm not like a super hardcore fan where I've seen every single thing, whatever. But I've seen. I remember I think there was like a cartoon or something when I was a kid. I remember some of those like live action Godzilla movies. I can't remember what they were called, but it was like Godzilla when Godzilla had laid some eggs in like New York, whatever, and then like all the baby Godzillas and stuff. Let me see, Godzilla movie with eggs? Question mark. Godzilla '98. So that stretch of films or whatever. Like, so I've seen some stuff here and there. I've seen the Godzilla movies. There was maybe like within like the last decade where it dealt with all of the different, Mothra and Ghidorah and all that stuff. Where like I said, it was maybe like 5 or so years ago they came out. But since then, I haven't like kept up with all of them, whatever. But for some reason, I don't know. And like I said, maybe it was just the timing of things with me going to see The Boy and the Heron. But I was like, you know what? I haven't seen a Godzilla movie in a long time, and the whispers on the Twitter streets was like, "Yo, this is truly a fantastic movie." So I was like, you know what? I want to go watch this, and so I didn't really. I don't think I saw any trailers for this or whatever. So I kind of went in pretty under the radar, not knowing too much or whatever. And so the setup for Godzilla Minus One. So first of all, this one was completely Japanese with English subtitles. So this one also kind of takes place in kind of a wartime. I think it was like post World War II or something. So it was kind of fitting, like I said, watching this and The Boy and the Heron, and them both taking place kind of like post war time, whatever. But basically, in this one, you follow a guy who was a kamikaze pilot. Sorry, a kamikaze pilot who faked like his plane had maintenance problems so that he could kind of land to basically try to get out of doing the kamikaze mission, understandably. So, so he lands, and the pilot's kind of like, man, I don't know, your plane look all right, man. And stuff. So all right, well, in the morning we'll get you back up and running or whatever. So like I said, he's dealing with doubts and stuff, whatever, understandably so. And so, middle of the night, while he's on this island with this kind of like naval repair group or whatever, Godzilla shows up, but basically kind of like a young Godzilla. So not the one that's like can stand up in the ocean big. This Godzilla is about the size of like a 2-story building. So still kind of big, but not monstrous. And so just comes on the little island, attacking, destroying stuff, whatever. But kind of in its own lane or whatever. But the head mechanic guy is like, yo, hey, get in your plane. You got a powerful gun, so you can kill it or whatever. Da 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 da. So he gets in the plane, freezes up though. Once again, fear. And the other guy starts shooting at him or whatever. Of course, Godzilla destroys everybody. And so, so then the guy gets knocked out or whatever, but then he wakes up the next morning and pretty much everybody on the island is dead except for him and one other person. And so the movie kind of then follows this guy over the course of many years with kind of like a found family. So he returns back to his home village or whatever that mostly got destroyed during the war, unfortunately. So like his parents are gone, and his neighbor, her kids got killed in it and stuff. And so, of course, him coming back, she's frustrated at him because she's like, "Yo, aren't you a kamikaze pilot? So how are you here?" And then, of course, understandably, a parent losing their kids and stuff, like, she's taking out her frustrations on him because it's like, well, because you didn't do your job in the war or whatever, now your parents are gone, my kids are gone, da 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 da. So he's going around just doing what he does or whatever. He ends up running into this young lady who has a baby. Long story short, the young lady ran into another lady who was on the verge of dying, just handed her like, hey, please take care of my baby. Boom. So now it's this new kind of found family. And like I said, like over the years, follow this guy or whatever, and this new kind of formed family. And he keeps on having encounters with Godzilla and stuff. And each time he sees him after a couple of years, Godzilla's a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Until it just becomes a point where it's like, okay, now he's the actual monstrous Godzilla we know. And these people are having to try to find a way of how to deal with Godzilla. And so I would say, like, in this movie, man, like I said, like it was fantastic from the human element side of stuff. Like I said, like watching this guy and his little family grow and bond and stuff, whatever. And then also just like this kind of like mythical element of Godzilla, being up in this whatever. And so the sound effects are super dope. The look of it, favorite thing, man, like the sound when Godzilla does this freaking like blast breath thing, whatever. Cause when he's charging up, whatever, like the spikes, like this, like little spikes things on like his going up his back and tail or whatever, starts to glow blue, and it's like glowing blue, and then like the things kind of were like, kind of like pop out or whatever on his all the way up his tail and his back, whatever, and it's just like a zoom, 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 just like a slow build up, and then he does the freaking energy beam, and it was just like, yo, super crazy. And that was like one of like my favorite parts of the movie. So there's a scene, I won't get too descriptive or whatever, but there's a scene where Godzilla is in the city and he does this blast, and so it's the slow build up, fires the energy beam. It of course just straight destroys everything in front of it. Mushroom cloud, like an atomic bomb drops. Yo. Then there's silence. And then the shockwave from the blast comes back. And there is this powerful scene to where the main character gets shoved into an alleyway, and the person who shoved him just swept up in the blink of an eye from the shockwave. So like I said, like Godzilla shoots the beam, energy beam goes out. Then the shockwave comes back, sweeps up everybody, everything, cars, vehicles, all this stuff, whatever, and then sweeps back through one more time to just settle down or whatever. Yo, man, my jaw was just like, yo, really? So it was super dope. But all in all, how it all comes together, how it all wraps up or whatever, was really good. It was a really fun movie to watch. Like I said, like some like really powerful human moments and stuff with the people, and then like I said, just seeing this reoccurring threat that's like getting bigger and bigger and more threatening or whatever. And the plan that they did of how to deal with Godzilla was super dope too. And all that's all I'm gonna leave it at or whatever. So, but yeah. So Godzilla Minus One was super dope. If you get a chance to see it, go check it out. So that's definitely one. And I definitely kind of want. Sorry, I want to go find and check out that Shin. I think it's Shin Godzilla that came out not too long ago. Uh, Cause I know, and of course they've been like there's been a lot of Godzilla stuff. As it seems like there always is, cause there's also like the Godzilla and Kong team up thing coming out next year or whatever. But let me see, yeah, Shin Godzilla. But anyway, so yeah, so that's my thoughts on those two movies and stuff, man. Like both of them were super good and definitely worth some me time, man, for real. And like I said, just kind of just like really made me just enjoying my time and stuff. And like I said, I definitely need to go and do this way more often. Um, because like I said, they were just both great movies to just kind of just get lost in and stuff. But like I said, a lot of times, and this is kind of like my last little thing I want to say too as well, is I'm ever more okay with going into stuff knowing as little as possible. Because like I said, like even the Boy and the Heron, I think I only saw like a couple quick flashes of like a trailer or whatever a while back. But other than that, I didn't look into it too much. Like I said, same thing with Godzilla Minus One. Um, and a lot of things that I've checked out recently, yeah, I've definitely just because like cause nowadays, and I don't understand why everything needs to be so spoiled and detailed, from TV shows to movies to manga to video games and stuff, whatever. It's just like so much stuff needs to be hinted at and teased early on, to where it's like, bruh, it's like leave something to the imagination for us, please. Like, don't reveal like, oh, here's all these villains or all these characters and stuff in this movie or whatever. And so that's why, for the most part, some stuff I might watch, maybe if it's something like completely new I don't know about, like so, like for gaming, I might, maybe watch like that first initial trailer, and then if I'm sold on it, okay, I don't need to see nothing else, whatever. I'll just play it myself. And like I said, sometimes with movies, depending on what it is or whatever, I might maybe watch a trailer for it. But sometimes if it's like an actor that I really like, or something or whatever, so it's like, oh, this is the next film that's starring this person or that's directed by this person, certain things like that or whatever, or hey, a new Studio Ghibli movie. Hey, I don't need to know too much more than that. And so that just kind of makes the experience that much more enriching to me, because it's not so much of like, oh yeah, that's that funny line from the trailer or whatever. Oh yeah, that's that thing or whatever, from that I saw in all the trailers and stuff that I watched. But yeah, man, it's nice to kind of just go in not knowing as or knowing as little as possible. And I think I definitely kind of want to do more of that, to where it's like, oh hey, this movie looks interesting. And if it's like in a genre that I'm cool with watching, kind of unknowingly or whatever, then sure, I'll just pick some random movies, go check them out or whatever. And not even for the podcast and stuff, whatever. It's just like for me, because I need some time for me, some time for Robert and stuff. So yeah, and like I said, I definitely encourage y'all to do the same, because sometimes you gotta have some you time. because because sometimes we don't do that enough for ourselves. Like I said, and shout out to those of y'all out there adulting, or to the parents and stuff, especially like, hey, yes, we love the kids or we love our spouse and stuff, whatever, but hey, sometimes we need to get away and do things for us. Like I said, even if it's just something like, hey, I'm gonna go to the movies by myself, or hey, um, what else? Sometimes for me, I also like to maybe go to Barnes and Nobles and just like late at night or whatever, like right before they close, and just browse the manga section or whatever, just for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, just to get out the house, just kind of be up, moving around, but being within a comforting space, to where it's like, okay, just surrounded by all these shelves of manga, and I can just kind of just browse and peruse of like, oh, okay, there's some new volumes of this out, or ooh, what is this new thing? Okay, I'm gonna check that out or whatever. So little things like that can go a long way to kind of just helping give us, like I said, even if it's just like 30 minutes to an hour or a couple hours, like I said, if you're watching a movie or whatever, of just peace to ourselves. And so yes, like I said, I just definitely need to do way better about finding time for myself outside of my home, because like I said, it's super rare that the storylines to where I can have peace and quiet in my own house, because like I said, just because of how small, and tight this 3 bedroom apartment is, with 2 adults and 5 kids and stuff running around. And so sometimes it's like, okay, just go to Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, whatever, just hang out, or like I said, go to a movie or something or whatever, or hey, just go for a drive and listen to some music in the car or a podcast, and just go for a drive. And so hopefully going forward, I'm gonna try to do better about that and stuff. But anyway, so let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Have y'all checked out either Godzilla Minus One or The Boy and The Heron? And also, do y'all have any things that y'all do for your own peace of mind, your own comfort, your own little getaways and stuff that you do? Feel free to hit me up. You can find me everywhere at Dad Needs to Talk. And so, with that, I'm out. Like I said, I got some other stuff that I look forward to talking about next week, as we kind of march towards the end of the year, man. Holidays and stuff coming up. So, but I hope everybody out there, I hope you all are doing well, and hope y'all taking care of yourselves. So, with that, as always, thank y'all so much for watching. As I always say, treat yourself to something nice. And I feel like I haven't said this in a while at the end of my show, so forgive me if I haven't, but treat yourself to something nice. Read some manga, watch some anime and TV, play some. Where's my controller? Play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, I'm out. Y'all be easy. I love y'all and appreciate all the love and support. Peace.